right. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with us. You're listening to the Outliars podcast. Today's guest, Chris LaMont, writer of, if you're a fan of Netflix, then you're seeing Bruce Willis' face all over Hard Kill. Chris is the author, the screenwriter, the creator, and we're glad to have you as a guest today. So what's it like to, just be sitting at home, turn on Netflix and see something you made with your name on it come on the screen? What does that feel like?
Well, I'll tell you, it is a little surreal. I wrote the script with my writing partner, Joe Russo, not Joe Russo from the Avengers, by the way, so he gets a hard time about that. But Joe and I wrote this script really about 4 years ago, and it's neat to see that it came to the screen and it's there. And I've had friends who've been texting me like, hey, your movie's number 3 on Netflix, and you're the number 2 movie on Netflix today. And I'm like, yeah, it's very cool to see that the film has found that a lot of people want to see the movie. The one thing I keep hearing from people is like, this movie came at a great time because there's nothing else to watch on Netflix.
Yeah, to walk away from your movie after they see it, what do you want them to take away from it?
Well, the thing is that the one thing about this movie that, you really can't explain to people is that it was made in 10 days. Okay? Made in 10 days. And the producers, like the script that we originally turned in was like a huge, like 10, 20, $30 million movie. And so the producers came back and they basically said, listen, we don't have $30 million. We still love your script. Can you start working under these types of considerations? And so we as writers, had to go back and start figuring things out to be able to make it work under their constraints. And the fact that they got Bruce Willis involved, and got him to be in the movie, it certainly is a testament to the writing and to the story. But it was interesting to watch the progression of the way the film ultimately came together. Because the reality is that, the film takes place in one big location, and it's because the producers couldn't afford to take us out of that one location. So it's more like The Raid than anything. And so, I think that, when you watch the film, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of suspense to it, and it's a good story to follow, to follow through. And I think just the neat thing about it is that, you watch the movie, and then if you do know the backstory a little bit, that, it went through these huge changes to be able to fit into a budget that, honestly, it's amazing that the director, Maskandari, was able to pull it off, was able to make a movie because he was under a lot of constraints. And so, but it's neat. It's like the movie's there, and I saw it when it first got released on iTunes, and then when they said it was dropping on Netflix, and the response has been kind of unreal.
Yeah, right. No, would you recommend that people try to write a movie that you can film in 10 days?
So this film is what we call a contained film because it is all pretty much in one location, and because it's a contained film, that's how the producers are able to find the money, because it's not, our original script, I gotta tell you, we were in an Eastern European country, we had tanks, we had 1,000 drone attack on a Eastern European city. We had a big, huge set piece that took place in Saudi Arabia on an oil derrick. It was just like, but the reality is that this is a company who liked the story, and they saw that they wanted to keep a lot of elements for it, but the other half of it is that they just couldn't afford the vision. And so, action films are films that are universal. Like, you could show an action film all over the world, and you're not going to be hindered by, dialogue. They just loop the voices and that kind of thing. It's the same with horror films. The sooner you can make a film, the better you can make a film, the more financially viable a producer can see the movie, it's always going to be better. It's a better opportunity for the writers to be able to get their work seen, because the fact that the writers realize that the producer are working under a budget is something that, as a writer, will actually make you stronger, because you're working within this framework that, based on production, and not exactly as much creativity as you wish, because you're just sort of dealing with compromise of, bringing an idea to life.
Would they ever remake it with the full budget?
Well, I don't think. I mean, if it wouldn't be a remake of this, like maybe it would be going back to the original script, which is about much expensive, but again, it would cost more money. The idea is they might want to make a sequel of this. That would probably be the next, phase of where the film would go, being creative and coming to life. But I don't think it would be actually just a remake of this movie, because this movie, like I said, is a contained movie. It kind of, really maximize everything that we can, with regards to characters and the action location. Like I said, the first original draft was very expansive. So that's the direction the producers can go in. They can look about just doing a sequel. There's always opportunities. And yeah, I mean, the fact that the film is successful, I mean, certainly everything is open, in regards to possibilities.
Yeah, well, we wish you all the luck. We'll be pushing for, Hard Kill 2, I guess. Is that what it would end up being?
I don't know. We were playing around with names. Hard 2, number 2 Kill, Harder 2 Kill. I mean, there's a lot. We were having fun text exchanges, and we were all shooting around ideas if there was a sequel. We want to tell writers that any writers that are out there is just, you just need to just start writing. This script, honestly, for me and my writing partner, I think this was our 14th feature screenplay that we wrote. And to finally get to this point, where we actually have this film, released, across the world and, on Netflix, and people are watching it. I mean, it's a testament, I think, to, as a writer, working really, really hard and being passionate about things, passionate about your work, or it is to be able to do the thing that you really love to do.
Mm-hmm. You said this is your 14th feature film. So what's the time frame between when you wrote your first feature film and and today?
Well, we started writing in 2008, and we had our first script sale in 2016. And since then, we've had like 5 sales. This is the second movie that actually got released. There was one that we did last summer that we shot last summer that my writing partner actually directed and ended up getting picked up by Lifetime. It's a female in peril thriller, and so, but yeah, I mean, we've got all these, there's scripts that we have that are being looked at, and the studios are looking at stuff, but it's a hard, long, process. It takes us 4 months to write a script. I mean, we've been writing a script right now since August, and we're just about to give it to the producers. And so it's like, yeah, it's hard work, but I love it. Joe loves it. We just love being creative, and as long as you are creative and you have the passion for this, like it's a great way to be able to express yourself and hopefully, entertain people out there as well.
That's awesome, Chris. That comes to the end of our time here, but I want to thank you very much for your time. I hope we can reach out to you again for a follow-up. Maybe we'll call it Hard to Kill 2 with Chris LaMont. If you're open to that, I'd love to have you back on as a guest.
Sure. There's some stuff that's cooking, and Dave, you just check back in with me, and I think January there's going to be a huge announcement. So just fingers crossed. Just got to keep on being creative, and the more that you work, the better you are at whatever it is that you do, and I'm very fortunate to be able to write scripts.
All right, well, we'll check back in with you January. You got me excited about that, I mean, this is a big deal, but I got my calendar marked for January to reach back out to you. So we'll keep our eyes open. And thank you very much, Chris. We want to thank our sponsor, U.S. Egg. So if you're looking for a great place for breakfast and flights, mimosas, Bloody Marys, check out USA, specifically Scottsdale and Shea. Chris LaMont, screenplay writer, Hard Kill. Thank you so much, Chris. And thank you for listening to the Outliars podcast. Take care, Chris.